AOC. Just those initials invoke a response, I could say trigger a response from the right. Now, we've made fun of her, we've lampooned her, we have pointing out the audacity of her stupidity. What we really need to take a look at is how incredibly dangerous her ideology is. We have known for literally years and decades that the left hates America. Now, they have learned in recent years for the visual effect to wrap themselves in the flag, to talk patriotism, to talk Constitution, but in reality, they hate, loathe, and despise this country. They don't believe we're exceptional. They don't believe we're number one. We certainly shouldn't try to make it great again, because that's a trigger for racism and white America and the KKK and hate and blah, 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 ad nauseum hate. And we shouldn't be sticking our world power in the faces of the rest of the world, and we shouldn't be touting our economic success. We are the cause of all of the pain and anguish around this planet. We caused it. That's really what the left believes. They're anti-American in their stand on things like all police are pigs, all police are corrupt, yada, 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 crapola. And AOC put that on display recently, and her thoughts on the pro-gun rally which happened in Virginia.
That the United States was founded on, including racism, but also including the protection of capital over human beings. And, another thing that I've been really thinking and sitting with today is that there's this gun rights protest that's happening down in Richmond. And
on MLK Day.
On MLK Day. But here's the image that has struck with me the most about that, is that when we go out and march for the dignity and the recognition of the lives of people like Freddie Gray and Eric Garner, the whole place is surrounded by police in riot gear without a gun in sight. And here are all of these people flying Confederate flags with semi-automatic weapons, and there's almost no police officers at that protest. So who or what are our institutions protecting from who? And that image conveys it all. Conveys it all.
First of all, not only is she incredibly misinformed, and I'm not sure if that's on purpose or she's just an outright liar. I'm leaning towards she's an outright liar. There was a heavy-duty police presence at that gun rally. In fact, when you talk to the people who were actually there, they were treated like criminals. And they didn't have any weapons at the rally, AOC. In fact, the governor made sure of that. He enacted special legislation and by executive order would not allow any conceal and carry, none whatsoever. Didn't happen. Lie number one. I'm not going to deal with the gun rights issue. That's been covered a lot. Let's back up to what she said in her opening statement.
That the United States was founded on, including racism, but also including the protection of capital over human beings.
Boom. And there you have it. And that is exactly how the left sees this country. We were founded on racism, founded on capitalism. We are oppressors. That is all we are. Now, while historically speaking and in historic perspective, yes, there was slavery at the outset of our nation. But it was Thomas Jefferson who tried to introduce into the discourse, into the argument, into the American psyche that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. I am telling you that AOC and her ilk, it isn't just that they want the Confederate flag down. It isn't just that they want the removal of Confederate statues. In the end, as they vilify Thomas Jefferson, a man whom Martin Luther King attributed to the true leader of the civil rights movement in our nation, as the liberals work with their revisionist historian theology to rewrite our history, and you see the name Thomas Jefferson coming off of school buildings as we see his portrait being taken down, understand ultimately the end game for this is a new constitution. We can't trust this 200-year-old document. It was written by a bunch of white slave owners who were capitalists. This is where all of this is headed. This is the end game. This is why hashtag Democrats Gone has to be on your forefront of your thinking through the entire 2020 election cycle. It's not just about President Trump. It's about eradicating and ridding any Democrat in any elected office at any level of government. These people are out to absolutely destroy the country, rip the Constitution out from under you, and bring you in a globalist human rights. And human rights is always code for socialism. 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 That's where this is headed. The socialist states of America. Stand resolute, stand opposed to any Democrat running for anything. What about moderate Democrats? Ain't no such thing. That's just a Republican dressed in Democrat drag. Period. No, 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 and no. Hey, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're locked in. Smack the bell for my next rant.